Hello, welcome back, guys. I'd like to continue our series of Vulnhub. Today, the virtual machine would be Inclusiveness 1. And I will put the link into the description section below so you can download this image. So without further ado, let's get started. Of course, I do appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel, and also if you like or enjoy any bit of value from this video, please leave like below. Thank you. And now we can get started actually. So to save the time, I have already imported into the VirtualBox, and the IP address has been identified as the 111 by the tool of NetDiscover. Also, you can use other types of similar tools. It doesn't matter, but I always use the NetDiscover tool. And also, I've already done the map scanning, and I've already done the comprehensive map scanning, and just specify the P/P/ and also do the scene scan, version scan, and also the script scan. So from the map scanning result, as you can see over the, let's scroll a bit, and the three open ports. The first one is 21, which runs FTP, and the version is VS-FTPD, and 3.03. And of course, this version of VS-FTPD doesn't have any vulnerability we can use or explore. But as you can see, the FTP allows the anonymous login, and later we can check this. And the second port, open port, is 22, which runs SSH. And also the version information about this service. Of course, again, this version of service doesn't have any vulnerability, So the next one is 80, which runs HTTP. And so that's all about open ports of the target. Now, next, we need to do some enumeration for each open ports except the 22, because the 22 we do not have any necessity to enumeration, because to do the enumeration, because this version again doesn't have any vulnerability. And let's try the FTP and specify the IP address of target, and input anonymous as username, and password leave blank. And we can list the content of this directory, and there is one directory which is the pub. Let's go into this directory, but nothing here. And also, of course, we need to check whether this directory allow us to upload the file, right? And we can open up another new tab, and we can go to our working directory, inclusive, and maybe we can create a very simple file like JSON. Okay, so just we have already created the very simple text file, and we can put test. So the FTP or target allow us to upload the file into this directory. So we need to make a note of this, or we need to remember this point, and let's quit. Now I think we need to come to the second open port, which is 80, and let's open up our browser and input the IP address of the target. So just default Apache 2 page, and we can let's scroll down a bit. Just HTML, all types of tag like a div, but it doesn't give us any useful information. Okay, so of course, next, normally the normal procedure is to check whether this site or application has robots file, right? Robots. But it returns one message or information: you are not a search engine. You cannot read my robots.txt. So I think the author give us the hint to access this file or robots txt file. We need to simulate as a search engine like a Google bot. Okay, and so how to do? Of course, we need to change the request header specifically is user agent to the Google bot, and let's use set the Fox proxy and use the Burp Suite, and now the traffic will go through the Burp Suite. So now let's launch the Burp Suite, and next start, and we need to set or enable intercept option. Now we can refresh the page. Now we have already got the request, and then this user agent is very normal, is Firefox agent. We need to change this user agent to Googlebot, and we can go to the right section, right part, go to the headers. Yeah, here we need to remove and replace Google bot. So this will tell the target or tell the server we are a Google bot, a spider, and we can apply changes. And now we forward this request. Now we have already got the directory, which is secret information, and now we can disable this proxy. And because we have already got the secret directory, and we can copy, and we can open up another tab or window, and let's go to this file or this page. So I think there's some information about the DNS zone transfer attack. I think this just message doesn't have any hint inside this message. Give some definition about what is DNS zone transfer. But as you can see, there are two superlink, for example, like English. And from this URL or address, maybe the parameter len has some local file inclusion vulnerability. We can try this, for example, like etc. Yeah, we got the password content, and if we take a look at the content of this file, we have already identified the username, which is Tom, right? And of course, for the local file inclusion vulnerability, after we identify this vulnerability, next step naturally would be to get the shell or revert shell, right? And normally, the first thing we can do to try whether the SSH private key exists in the home directory of Tom. We can specify the home and the Tom and SSH and ID as A. This is the private key file, but nothing displayed, nothing returned from the target. So how to do? Also, we can check if we can find or locate the log message, log file, and then we can, if we can return or retrieve the content of the log file, and then we can, for example, make some authentication or login, and this login will include the reverse shell code, and then we can, and then afterwards we visit this log file and get the reversed shell. But we can check on that, like access, but nothing found. Also, we can check, like, because the web is Apache 2 and access, but also nothing returned. But do you remember we can upload our shell code through FTP, right? And we can go to, but of course we need to prepare the shell PHP file first, and we need to do some small modifications, which we are going to modify or change the IP address to our Kali Linux. And I always use another port number, but you can use your own number or your favorite one. It doesn't matter. And write and quit, and we can check the content or confirm the content again, because we do not want to make a mistake, right? I think everything is good, and now we can FTP to the target and anonymous, and go to the pub, and we can put the shell. Yeah, we have already uploaded the shell file onto the target. But now another problem will come to our mind is where or what's the absolute path for this file, because this is not in the root of web directory, yeah. But you know, the FTP, we know the relative path, which is pub and PHP. So I think the next what we need to do is find out the absolute path of the pub directory. And normally we can use the local file inclusion vulnerability to read the content of the configuration of the VSFTPD. And I've already got the reference. This is the absolute path for the configuration file with the VSFTPD. We can copy this absolute path, and we can head over to our browser. Yeah, here we can put duplicate slash we need to remove, and we can try to visit this file to see whether we can retrieve the content of the configurations. But nothing. But you know, maybe we can remove this directory or upper directory, and we can visit. As you can see, we have already got the content of this configuration file. Maybe this is in the form of not very easy to read, and we can copy this URL and can use the Q to retrieve the content. Yeah, this is much better, right? So as you can see, the point users are the directory we created earlier, and this is for the anonymous root. So we have already got the absolute path for the FTP file with anonymous users. And now we can, of course, we can set up the listener first. And then we can visit this file. We can head over to the browser. And we need to append the pub and the shell. Now we have already got the reversed shell connected from the target, and we can make this shell interactive Python. Okay, and now we can go to the home directory to do some basic enumeration. So there is one user, which is Tom, and list the content. So here you can see, I think you have noticed this file, this executable has SUID bit. So maybe we can utilize the SUID bit of this file to escalate our privilege. And also here, I think this is a script or code for this file. We can cat this file. So as we go through the code of this file will run the command who am I, and the information will be saved in the variable f, and then the user, and this, because who am I will be replied to the username, and if the user is Tom, this will do some match. If the username is Tom, and access granted. So I think we need to, because here is not absolute path, we can go to the temp directory. We can generate our own whom I echo Tom, right? And then to who am I, and can add the privilege, executive privilege, who am I, and I also need to change or modify the path variable. And and I think now everything is fine, it's going well, and we can go to the home directory, go to the Tom, and then we can run this command or this file. Hopefully we can get the escalated privilege. Yeah, we have already got the root shell, and we got the flag, root flag. So that's all I'd like to demonstrate in this video. I hope to see you in the next one. If you do not mind, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.